Most people never get the chance to grow old. Think about that for a moment. Every sunrise after 70 is a gift that millions never received. But here is the painful truth nobody talks about. The very love that drove you to sacrifice everything for your children can quietly destroy your peace, your dignity, and your happiness in the final chapter of your life. Today, I want to share 5 things elderly people should never give away to their children after 70 if they truly want peace, dignity, and happiness in their remaining years. And I will explain each lesson through powerful stories. 1. Never give away your financial security. My dear friends, let me begin with a simple question. Throughout your life, how many sacrifices did you make for your children? Probably countless. Parents work late nights, ignore their own comfort, and quietly save money just to ensure their children have a better future. That is the beauty of parenthood. But after the age of 70, something very important must change. Sacrifice must slowly give way to wisdom. Let me tell you about a man named Mr. Verma. Mr. Verma worked as a railway clerk for almost 40 years. His salary was modest, but he was disciplined. Every month he saved a little money, not for luxury, not for big dreams, but simply for security and old age. When he turned 72, his son came to him with excitement. "Papa, I want to start a new business," he said. "If you invest your retirement savings, I promise we will grow together." Mr. Verma trusted his son completely. After all, what parent would not want to support their child's dream? He gave nearly all his savings. But life does not always follow our plans. The business struggled. Markets shifted. Losses arrived one after another. Within 2 years, the savings Mr. Verma had built over 4 decades completely vanished. Suddenly, the man who had once provided for everyone became dependent on his son for even basic expenses. And dependence quietly changes relationships. Not because children are bad, but because pressure changes behavior. Financial stress creates tension. Respect slowly gets replaced by irritation. Mr. Verma once confided in someone with tears in his eyes. "I don't regret helping my son, but I deeply regret giving everything." My dear friends, money in old age is not just money. It is independence. It is dignity. It is the freedom to make choices without feeling like a burden. This does not mean we should never help our children. Of course, we can help them. But help must come from strength, not from self-sacrifice that leaves us completely vulnerable. Imagine a tree that gives all its roots away. Can it still stand tall? Your savings are those roots. When elders maintain financial security, something beautiful happens. They live with confidence. They can support others when truly needed. They can enjoy small pleasures without guilt. And most importantly, their children continue to respect their independence. So remember this gentle wisdom. Giving is beautiful, but surrendering everything is not always wise. After 70, protect your financial foundation. It allows you to spend your remaining years with peace instead of worry. Because in the final chapter of life, security is not selfishness, it is self-respect. 2. Never give away your house too early, friends. A house is never simply a structure of bricks and cement. A house carries stories. It holds laughter, struggles, memories, and sacrifices. For many parents, their home represents the entire journey of their lives. Let me share the story of Mr. and Mrs. Gupta. They spent 35 years slowly constructing their modest family home. Every wall carried memories of their children growing up. Birthdays were celebrated there. Exams were prepared there. Festivals were observed there. The house was not grand, but it overflowed with love. When Mr. Gupta turned 70, he decided to transfer ownership of the house to his eldest son. He believed that doing this early would prevent conflicts after his lifetime. At first, everything appeared normal. But slowly the atmosphere began shifting. When ownership transferred, authority transferred too. Decisions about the house were no longer in Mr. Gupta's hands. One day he wanted to renovate the small garden where he spent every peaceful evening. His son casually replied, "Papa, we should not spend money on that right now. It is not necessary." The words seemed simple, but the feeling behind them was heavy. Mr. Gupta later shared something deeply painful with a close friend. He said, "I still live in the same house, but sometimes I feel like a guest." My dear friends, this story is not about blaming children. Many children genuinely care for their parents, but life circumstances shift. Responsibilities increase. Financial pressures arrive. When elders surrender their biggest asset too early, they unknowingly strip away a crucial layer of protection from their lives. Your home provides far more than shelter. It provides stability and respect. It gives elders a sense of belonging and authority over their own environment. There is nothing wrong with planning inheritance. Thoughtful planning actually prevents future disputes. But planning does not mean rushing to transfer ownership during your lifetime. Keep your home under your control while you are alive. You can absolutely allow your children to live alongside you. You can share responsibilities and collaborate on decisions. But maintaining ownership ensures that elders never feel powerless. Think of your house as an umbrella during heavy rain. As long as you hold it, you stay protected. Once you hand it away, you must depend on someone else to shield you. In old age, security creates peace, and peace creates genuine happiness. So remember this lesson clearly. Love your children, support them wholeheartedly, guide them with wisdom. But do not rush to surrender the home that represents your life's most meaningful work. Your home is not merely property. It is your foundation of dignity. 3. Never give away your authority and your voice. Friends, aging often brings a quiet misunderstanding. Many elders believe that once they reach 70, their role in the family has ended. They assume the younger generation must now make every single decision. While responsibilities do shift with time, wisdom should never be silenced. Let me tell you about a grandmother named Shanta Devi. She was 80 years old, gentle in nature, and deeply respected throughout her community. Her grandchildren treasured her stories. But inside the house, something had gradually changed. Whenever family discussions happened, she quietly retreated to a corner and remained completely silent. One day her grandson asked her, "Daddy, why do you never share your opinion when we discuss important matters?" She smiled warmly and replied, "Beta, now it is your generation's time. My time has passed." But that same evening, something remarkable occurred. The family was discussing a financial decision involving the sale of ancestral land. Everyone felt confused about whether it was the right choice. Finally, the grandson turned toward his grandmother and asked, "Daddy, you have known this land for 50 years. What is your honest feeling?" She hesitated briefly. Then she spoke slowly and carefully. She described the land's history, the emotional significance attached to it, and the genuine potential it still held for the family's future. Her perspective reshaped the entire conversation. Later, her son said something deeply moving. He told her, "Ma, we now understand how valuable your experience truly is. We should have asked you much sooner." Friends, wisdom is never replaced by youth. Wisdom grows through lived experience. You may not manage the household exactly as you once did. You may not carry every responsibility as before, but your voice still holds the lessons of entire decades. The key is finding balance. Authority in old age should never come through control or constant criticism. Repeatedly correcting younger people creates emotional distance. But sharing calm, thoughtful perspective builds lasting respect. A wise elder does not impose opinions. They generously offer insight. Imagine a vessel crossing open ocean. The young crew operates the sails and plots the course, but the ancient lighthouse standing on shore still guides them safely away from danger. Elders are that lighthouse. When you stop speaking entirely, families lose access to irreplaceable wisdom. Your encounters with hardship, failure, success, and resilience are genuinely priceless. Simply because you have grown older does not mean your words carry less weight. Speak with humility, speak with warmth, but never surrender your voice. Because sometimes one quiet sentence from an experienced elder can save an entire family from a devastating mistake. And that is the profound, silent power of wisdom. 4. Never give away your personal happiness. My dear friends, many parents devote their entire existence to their children's joy. This devotion is natural and genuinely beautiful. But sometimes after the age of 70, this deeply ingrained habit becomes a quiet source of inner sadness. Parents forget that their own happiness still matters enormously. Let me share the story of Mr. Mehta. After retiring at 70, he believed his only remaining responsibility was supporting his children and grandchildren. He spent all his energy doing household chores, running errands, and constantly adjusting his schedule around everyone else's needs. Initially he felt useful, appreciated, and necessary. But slowly something began eroding. His children grew occupied with careers. His grandchildren matured and started spending more time with their own friends and academic studies. Mr. Mehta suddenly realized he possessed no personal hobbies, no social connections, and no activities that belonged exclusively to him. He once confessed to a neighbor, "My entire life revolved around my family. But now I feel strangely hollow." One afternoon, that neighbor invited him to join a morning walking group at the nearby park. He hesitated at first, but finally agreed. Something quietly wonderful unfolded. During those morning walks, he encountered people his own age who exchanged stories, laughter, not in real experiences. He soon returned to gardening, something he had genuinely cherished in younger years. He also joined a small devotional singing group at the local temple. Within months, his entire spirit transformed. His children noticed immediately. They witnessed a father who radiated cheerfulness, energy, and emotional fulfillment. One evening, his daughter said something truly meaningful. She told him, "Papa, watching you happy makes our entire home feel lighter." Friends, happiness is never selfish. It is essential nourishment for the soul. When elders abandon every personal interest simply to remain constantly available for their families, they unknowingly create emotional imbalance. But when elders preserve their own passions, friendships, and daily routines, they establish something healthier for everyone. Your life after 70 is not a blank chapter waiting quietly for the ending. It is an entirely new phase, rich with opportunities for reflection, joy, and meaningful contribution. You can explore, learn fresh skills, volunteer, read deeply, pray sincerely, exercise regularly, or simply sit peacefully with nature. The core message is straightforward. Never surrender your personal happiness under the mistaken belief that your only remaining purpose is serving others. Children naturally build their own independent lives. That is the beautiful, inevitable cycle of existence. But elders who maintain their own vibrant interests stay energetic, confident, and genuinely inspiring. A joyful elder becomes the emotional heartbeat of the entire family. Their laughter fills every room with warmth. Their presence becomes a genuine blessing. So carry this truth with you beyond 70. Protecting your happiness is not selfishness. It is the essential foundation of a peaceful and deeply meaningful life. 5. Never give away your self-respect. Friends, among everything we have explored together today, one treasure rises completely above all others: self-respect. Money can disappear and be rebuilt. Property can be lost and restored. Even wounded relationships can eventually heal. But when self-respect is repeatedly surrendered, the heart grows unbearably heavy. Let me tell you about a man named Mr. Iyer. He was a gentle and devoted father who had raised 2 children with tremendous care and sacrifice. After his wife passed away, he moved into his son's household. Initially, everything felt comfortable and welcoming. But gradually quiet changes began appearing. Sometimes his thoughts were dismissed without acknowledgement. Sometimes significant decisions were made completely without consulting him. Occasionally careless words escaped during moments of stress. Mr. Iyer endured everything silently because he deeply feared creating conflict or becoming a burden. One day an old friend visited and asked him something simple. "Are you truly happy, my friend?" He paused for a long, heavy moment and replied softly, "I love my family deeply, but sometimes I feel completely invisible." Those words carry a profound truth. Elders should never trade their dignity simply for belonging. Real respect never comes from demanding attention loudly or insisting on authority. True respect emerges from calm confidence and clearly communicated boundaries. Later that year, Mr. Iyer had a quiet, honest conversation with his son. He accused nobody. He simply shared his feelings with complete openness. He said, "I will always stand beside you, but I need to feel genuinely respected inside this home." That single conversation transformed everything. Younger generations sometimes simply fail to recognize how their unconscious behavior affects the elders around them. When elders express themselves calmly and honestly, entire families become more thoughtful. Self-respect also grows from within. It flourishes by remembering the extraordinary life you have already lived. You worked tirelessly. You weathered genuine hardship. You raised a family with both hands. You shouldered responsibilities for entire decades. Those achievements demand honor. A tree standing powerfully for 70 years should never suddenly feel worthless. Elders are actually the deep roots of the family tree. Without strong, healthy roots, the tree cannot survive any storm. Maintaining self-respect also means protecting your health, preserving your independence, and honoring your emotional boundaries. When elders genuinely respect themselves, others instinctively follow. And when children witness their parents living with quiet dignity, they absorb one of life's most essential lessons. Respect naturally flows in both directions. So as you move through these precious later chapters of your life, guard this irreplaceable treasure above everything else. Because self-respect is not pride. It is the quiet, unshakable inner strength that allows you to spend your remaining years with grace, genuine peace, and enduring dignity.